Ladies and gentlemen of the year, on our guard the top, our honorable federal government, they are planning to borrow another $400 million. Do you know what they want to do with the money? They want share them. That promise where President Tinubu promised the full country, like say keep money somewhere. The federal government is about to borrow $400 million to fund that promise. So now remember now, when he say all federal government workers are going to be paid extra $35,000 for the next 6 months, and 15 million Nigerian households are going to collect 25,000 naira for the next 6 months. Federal government is about to borrow $400 million to add to the $800 million so they don't borrow before, to make it $1.2 billion to fund those promises. Let me show you the news. The federal government has approached the World Bank for a fresh loan of $400 million for the conditional cash transfer to 15 million households as one of the measures to cushion the effects of petrol subsidy removal on Nigerians. The $400 million will bring to $1.2 billion the amount that the federal government is borrowing from the World Bank for the cash transfer, as it had earlier secured a loan of $800 million for the same purpose. President Bola Tinubu announced the conditional cash transfer to 15 million households in a nationwide address to commemorate the country's independence on October 1st, as part of measures to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal on petrol, which has led to an astronomical rise in the cost of living. He also announced that the federal government will commence the payment of 25,000 naira monthly to 15 million households for 3 months from October to December 2023. The immediate past administration of President Muhammadu Buhari had secured $800 million loan from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development to provide post-petroleum subsidy palliatives for over 50 million Nigerians. The loan was meant to be assessed by the succeeding administration. In his October 1 broadcast, President Tinubu also announced the approval of 25,000 naira provisional allowance for junior federal workers over the next 6 months. He said the approval followed negotiations with labor unions and other stakeholders in the business community to increase the federal minimum wage without triggering undue inflation. For the next 6 months, the average low-grade worker shall receive an additional 25,000 naira per month, the president stated. However, following protests about the exclusion of other categories of workers and pensioners and the threat by the organized labor to embark on a nationwide strike, the government announced 35,000 naira provisional wage award for all treasury-paid federal government workers for 6 months, following further consultations with the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress. A top government official who spoke on condition of anonymity because of the sensitive nature of the issue told Sunday Punch that the Tinubu administration would fund the 35,000 naira cash award to civil servants by sending a supplementary appropriation bill to the National Assembly. The source stated, the government is funding the 35,000 naira wage increase for all federal civil servants, and it is not taking a loan. The one the government is taking a loan for is the one of 25,000 naira multiplied by 3 months for 15 million households. There is a loan of 800 million on this one, and the government is adding $400 million loan, making it $1.2 billion, which will be used for the conditional cash transfer. But the other one, cash award to federal civil servants, the government will fund it. So most likely, there will be a supplementary appropriation for that, because it is illegal to spend money out of the government's budget. Meanwhile, Nigeria has maintained its 4th position on the World Bank's top 10 International Development Association borrowers list. This was after moving from the 5th position in the 2022 fiscal year. So basically, now they said the full $1.2 billion time they want to do everything. The 35,000 where they want to give federal government workers, they say our country go fund that one from supplementary budget. Supplementary budget is if you get 5 million for your account, for example, or you and your family account, your wife say, honey, this month My allowance na 500,000. I go cook with this one. I go pay light bill with this one. I do. You give her 500,000. You will be the husband. You say your allowance na 300,000. You collect 300,000. That is 800,000. Una still get 4.2 million. If unforeseen occurrence come, you and your wife go decide, so okay, when we collect 200,000 from that money where we keep. That's what we call supplementary budget. So the federal government is going to collect supplementary budget from the federal government account to fund the 35,000 naira when they want to pay federal government workers. As for the 25 million where they want share, give 15 million households, now they want borrow the money for so. Now $1.2 billion want go for so. Guess what? It go shock you. They go share $1.2 billion for 15 million households for this country. Me and you, our household no go join. How they take out 15 million households and my own not join? Now I know they understand. In fact, if you check away, your full village household feel no join. So what did they really share this money to? When Olusegun Obasanjo was the president of Nigeria, the then governor of Lagos State, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then governor, claimed that Olusegun Obasanjo did not release their location for Lagos State for months. He said that he called his team and they worked on how to generate more money from the state. So much so that they built the state internal generated revenue from 6 billion to 60 billion each times 10 up. So there we are in that same situation in the country. I'm not hearing the president talking about how we will generate more money for the country. What we are hearing is borrowing. Is it that he don't forget how to generate money? I bet that they lie for us that time. These are the questions I want to know as a citizen of Nigeria, and I think it's my right, because I have expected him to start putting things in place in other industries that would have started looking like it will work now. We don't need to work overnight, but we won't see. Say the movement where they move for this industry is going to start yielding social amount in the next 2 years or 3 years. We are not seeing anything. What normal man borrows money to share? Which normal human being for the world? They borrow money, not be say one use an open store, or he want use an import goods where he want sell, or he want use an start one business so go pay back the loan. He want share. Which normal human being thinks like that? For Christ's sake, we are now the 4th highest borrowers in the world, behind Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan. Which normal human being thinks like that? Now you are borrowing money without a year of crude oil for loan swap. Because the money that they borrow now, they will share it in 3 months. And they will end up paying for the next 10 years. And guess how they are going to pay? The crude oil from the Niger Delta. So all of you telling me go back to your state, we are helping you in your state, my friend. The money they want to share to people in your state now my state will pay. Somebody asked a question recently. When we see crude oil in Niger Delta, we say for the country. The gold from the north, who gets them? See, keep politics aside. Keep religion aside. Keep tribe aside. Let's tell ourselves the truth. If we don't start looking for new ways to make money now, they say, well, we enter some our country, they no fit pay. Nigeria has means to make money, many means. Why are we not exploring those options? We keep borrowing. We should think of how to make money than thinking of how to borrow money, for Christ's sake. I was talking about bitumen. Why are we importing bitumen to tie roads when we have the second highest reserve of bitumen in the world with the importer? Limestone, cocoa, tar. Not be Nigeria that I get resources pass on Nigeria. You see those Sokotos and the resources they get, only Kogi State can take care of Nigeria. But nobody's thinking in that direction because it's called long-term investment. If you start the process now, if it takes 5 years for the things to start making money, and the people when we get the government, they could all come out. So they are more interested in the one that we collect now. If we not think with our brain, if we decide to be mentally lazy, we will leave work for our children and our children's children. If we want Nigeria to move forward, we have to come to the drawing board and sit down and say, how do we progress So far, so good. What I am seeing us doing is sitting down and say, how do we ruin this country? Now, all of us, they do so. Keep borrowing.